Hello beginners, welcome to the lecture number 1 of our Java lecture series. We are focused to turn this lecture series to the best and helpful lectures for you all. So with the motive of making you from a beginner to an expert of Java, let's get started. So we are here to discuss the introduction of Java programming language. First of all, you need to remember that Java is a case-sensitive language. So if you write hello with a capital H, is different from the hello written with a small h. Okay, so you need to remember that Java was launched in 90s and it's not the first object-oriented language because C++ came before Java and C++ is the first object-oriented language. The best feature of Java is the concept of Vora. W-O-R-A. Vora is write once and run anywhere. And what is Vora actually? It is basically the platform independent feature of Java. What is that? Actually, whenever you compile the C++ code and a machine code is generated, that machine code is only visible for that specific computer or for that specific underlying architecture you are working on. So if you are working on Linux, then the machine code of C++ will only run on that specific Linux environment. So you will have to make some changes in your source code or you will have to compile it again for running it on Windows or Mac. So this is not the case with Java. With Java, you can only compile the code for one time and you can run that code on any environment. You can run that compiled code of Java either on Mac, either on Windows, either on Linux or anywhere. And the most important part is that the compiled code of Java is known as the bytecode. Okay, so this thing you need to remember. And the most important thing that I need to discuss with you all is that why Java is preferred over other languages or why Java is preferred over C++ or C. So the first thing is in Java, everything will be written inside the boundary of class except the package statement. So you see this is the boundary of the class and everything I write will be written inside it. Okay, and what is the package statement? Package statement is nothing but a folder till this time. When we'll have a detailed lecture on the packages, we will learn it in detail. So there is no concept of global variables in Java. So you can't declare any variable outside of this class, okay? So there's no global variable in Java. Similarly, you don't have any pointers in Java. If you have used C++ before, you must know that the working with pointer is such a headache. Like it was so much more working with pointers, but in Java there are no pointers, so it is such an easy language. So also there are no operator overloading in Java as if you have used C++ before, you already know that operator overloading is a big concept. So there's nothing like operator overloading in Java. Similarly, if you have used with C++, if you have gone through C++, you must know that whenever you declare a variable in C++, you have to deallocate the memory manually. But in Java, you don't have to deallocate the memory. Memory deallocation isn't the responsibility of the developer or you. It is the responsibility of the Java virtual language. Okay? And one thing, the most important thing is that by default, Java will add a piece of code that is packaged in your Java program, and the name of this package is java.lang. Now let's get into the program that you are showing on the screen. So let's get into it. So this is the first line is public class hello world. This public basically says that your class is public and your compiler can access it. If your class is declared is private, then your compiler won't access it and your program won't run. Okay, so you must declare your class as the public. Okay, then there comes the class keyword saying that you are making a class, you're declaring a class, and the class name is hello world. one thing that I need to mention is that the compiler that I'm using is basically the JVM, Java Virtual Machine. So I will recommend you to use it. It's very easy to download. Just write JVM on Google and you will get it. It's really easy to install. So I'm using it. Then this is the class name, and you must know that whatever your class name is, your file name must be the same. Like my class name is hello world, so my file name is also the hello world.java. Okay, so the extension is .java. Then we have the main function, public static void main. If you already knew a little programming, then you must know that every programming language you always write a main function, because the main function is basically the control entry point in every programming language. If you don't write main function, you won't be able to run this Java program. Okay, so it is public. Why it is public? Because so that your compiler can access it. Okay, and it is static, and static says that you don't have to make an object of main. And what is object making? It is something that I'll make you understand in some more lectures. Like after 2 or 3 lectures, I'll make you understandable about what are objects. Okay, so static is used in that case, but you must have to remember that static will always be used with the main. Okay, then void, and void says that the function doesn't return anything. Like here you see my function doesn't return anything. I'll let you know what is that actually means, and if there's no void, then what can be there instead of it. Then we have string arguments, and these string arguments are also used when you take command line arguments. And as you know, we are not taking any command line arguments here, so it will not be used here, but you must remember that we will use it in the new lectures. Okay, so then this statement is the most important statement, that says system.out.println hello world. And system is what? Actually, I already mentioned that they by default Java will add a piece of code that is packaged in your every Java program, and the name of this package is java.lang. And the system is a class name that is already declared in your java.lang package. And the java.lang package is basically consists of a built-in code that Java makes you able to use it in your code, in your programs. Okay, so systems comes from there. And this out is basically the object of their class. Like system class has an object out, and that out has a function println, and the duty of that println function is to print anything in the brackets to the display screen. Okay, so let's run it. With the passage of time, you'll get more things and you will understand it better, so not a problem. Let me run it and you will see the output of it. So I'll go to the desktop because my file is over the desktop. So, sorry. Then to compile the program, we'll write Java C. It says Java compile and the file name. And my file name was hello world. So let's write it. Hello world.java. Now I'll press enter and you see it's taking some time to compile that program. Now I'll write Java. And now I won't write hello world.java. I'll only write hello world. And in this line, actually your bytecode has been generated. Java C hello world.java basically compiles your code and creates another file that has an extension hello world.class, and hello world.class is actually the bytecode, and bytecode is not an understandable code for you. And the bytecode, the specialty of bytecode is that it can run on any platform. Okay, so we are gonna run it on our platform by just giving a command java hello world, and now I'm gonna press enter and you will see the output. And so you see this is hello world. Like I wanted to display hello world from the file and it is displaying over the CMD. Okay, so this is how Java programming works. Okay, so let's make a small program, another small program. That is a small calculator, and you see now my class name is add two numbers too, so the file name is also very same. Okay, so we have a function here, static int add int a int b. I'm really sorry for it. Then we have a static function. Why we have written a static over here? Because the main function is always static, and the static function can only call a static function. So whenever you want to call another function from main, you will always write it as a static function. So static int is basically its return type. Like the void is the return type of main, and void says that the main function doesn't return anything. But you see, in the function, it returns an integer. It basically stands for the integer. So you see it is returning C. Okay, then we have the function name that says add, and then we have a parametric list that is int a and int b that says that it has two integer parameters, and the one integer parameter has name a and another parameter name is b. Then we have declared the third variable with integer that is int c, and we are adding both the variables a and b, and we are returning the result. Okay, now the main function says what? It is declaring a number 1 that has 32 in it, then it is declaring a number 2 that has 34 in it, and then it is calling a function. This is the calling function add, and it is passing number 1 that is being received as a in the function, and it is giving the number 2 which is being received by the name b in the function, and whatever the result is returning from here, the main function is catching it in the sum variable and displaying it on the console. Okay, so let's see its output. I'll write Java C, and I'll write the program name add. This is here, add two numbers to .java. Now my file has been compiled and the bytecode has been generated. So let's write add two numbers. You see dot class, and dot class means the bytecode has been generated. And you see the sum of these numbers is 66. Okay, so this is how it works. Now there's small exercise for you people. You have to make a small calculator just like this one, and you have to make a few more functions, like a function that can subtract, a function that can multiply, and a function that can divide. And you have to call all these functions in the main, and this is really important for your practice. And you can easily tell me if something bothers you. So this was the first lecture. Hope you like it. Have a good day.